Google's second quarter numbers cleared expectations with plenty of room to spare. The search giant reported $12.21 billion in revenue for the second quarter and $3.2 billion in operating income. That includes all of Google's components and its Motorola Mobility holdings. This is the first quarter Motorola has been on the books at Google. CNET reports that even while Motorola contributed about 10% of overall revenues, it wasn't profitable itself. Even though Google beat expectations overall and Motorola contributed a nice chunk of revenue, Motorola reported an operating loss of $233 million. The mobile business lost $192 million and the home segment lost $41 million. While that's not exactly good news, the Wall Street Journal says it's not cause for alarm either.
It did also generate a loss for them, and I don't think anybody was surprised at that. Motorola was a loss-making company when they bought them, and they bought them primarily for the patents.
Indeed, Google is new to hardware, and even its software isn't its primary moneymaker. SiliconANGLE says Google built its fortune on its position as a search giant. And a search giant is what Google remains. Google can brag all it wants about customers for the Google Apps Productivity Suite or that Android and the Google Play is seeing a huge uptick. But the real revenue growth for Google is still being driven by advertising. The company saw a 35% increase in revenue from the last quarter, and the majority of that came from volume advertisement. Business Insider says whether that's a sustainable business model is another matter. Google sells a ton of ads for not a lot of money, and that can be risky. Those two factors appear to have accelerated a pre-existing trend that although Google is selling more and more ads, those ads are getting cheaper and cheaper. Google will have to hope that those prices don't become so cheap that they threaten top-line growth. Especially with mobile advertisements. Those are exploding and they cost mere fractions of what traditional online ads do. But CNN says it's new territory. When Wall Street analysts noted on a conference call that the falling cost per click rates are a recurring challenge, Google Chief Financial Officer Patrick Pichette chalked it up to advertisers trying to figure out the value of mobile advertisements. Meanwhile, shareholders are still waiting on the stock split that Google announced back in April. VentureBeat reports the annual shareholders meeting in June cemented the deal, but Google has yet to act on its plans. But those shareholders appear happy with Google's performance anyway. Forbes reports Google's stock jumped about 3% on the earnings news. For Newsy, I'm Logan Tittle. Multiple sources, the real story.